Okay, so I just finished watching the Dua Lipa live stream concert, Studio 2054, and I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions. I figured that because my master's thesis is on virtual concerts, that I needed to start watching more of them in order to kind of figure out some of the context of what I'm working with. So let me just start by saying what I liked. So I thought the performance was really cool. I thought it was really great conceptually. I mean, her whole era has been a really great concept for her, just with the whole '80s throwback. That's something I'm really into right now. I thought the choreography was really cool. She is clearly sticking a big fat middle finger up to anyone that told her that she couldn't dance a couple of years ago. So I thought that was really nice. And I also thought the set design was really cool. And I think set design is something that has a lot of potential in like the virtual concert market. Given that people have more freedom to just build a big set and not have to worry about like taking it down and like driving to the next city and putting it back up again. I think that's something that has a lot of room to grow. So that's what I liked about it. But what I took a lot of issue with in this whole experience, I guess, was the fact that it was pre-recorded and not actually live. Or, like maybe it was live and there was a lot of production magic involved. But if that was the case, they didn't do enough to, I guess, convey the liveness of the event, so to speak, I guess. And honestly, this wasn't really something that I thought about until I was like thinking about like, oh, she's doing like multiple performances in one day, like depending on your time zone, and like the one for North America is at 9 p.m. EST, which is like really late in London where she's performing from. So, like, is this actually live? Like, are they actually going to perform at like 2 in the morning or whatever time it is in London? Like, that was something I was really trying to think about, and I there was nothing in the performance to like break that skepticism for me. Like my sister was watching with me and she was like, "Oh, just Google it and see if it's live." And like my Google search results kept telling me like, "Oh, it is live. It is live." But reading those things didn't like tell like they didn't change my opinion of whether it was live or not. Like I had to see for myself and see if they were going to make that clear, and they didn't. So there are a couple things that like in my research around all of this that I've come to learn are really, really important when it comes to live music. And one of the things that I've learned is that immediacy is really important. So generally when people go to concerts, there is an expectation that they are going to be watching someone performing like in real time. There's going to be like some sort of indication that, the person on the stage is there at the same time that you're looking at them. And obviously, when you're going to an in-person virtual concert, that is given to you immediately. There's no way that like the person on stage isn't actually there when you're looking at them. Like that's just a given. It's given to you. And yeah, so like the immediacy is something that is very easy to just checkbox off when you're doing in-person live music. The second thing that I found was important is artist interaction. So what I mean by this is that when people go to concerts, they will have this excitement around like this idea of feeling like the artist who's performing, like feeling like the artist is singing or speaking or interacting with them directly. Like when the artist goes like, how are y'all doing tonight? And then like name the city that they're performing in, and everyone cheers. Like things like that, elements like that contribute to this personal connection between the audience and the artist. That is an extremely critical element in live performance, just from what I've learned and also in my opinion. And I think these two things like immediacy and artist interaction, I think they're things that we really take for granted because they come so easily now, like in live performance. Like it's so easy to see someone on stage and know that they're on stage at the same time that you're watching them, because like again, that's given to you. It's so easy for the artist to like interact with their fans and interact with the audience because, that's just what it is to be a performer. And I think it's also very clear that Dua's team takes these things for granted as well because, obviously, if you're showing a pre-recorded performance to your audience, that sense of immediacy goes straight out the window, and there's like no way that you can have artist and audience interaction because the artist is not performing for an audience, they're performing to be recorded. Like there's a difference between the two things. And like again, if there was a bunch of production magic involved in the stream and Dua was performing live, like there wasn't any indication to me that she was giving me a sense of immediacy or a sense of like audience interaction. Like there was no commentary in between songs like to speak out to people. There wasn't really any sense of like in the moment like spontaneity like you generally get with live music. It felt like a very polished performance, like work of art, like movie, like whatever you want to call it. It was very like cleansed and that is not a quality of live performance in my opinion. And I also just didn't get any sense that Dua Lipa was speaking directly to her audience. So like I guess this is like the only example that I can really think of, but and you can laugh at me all you want, but if I were to compare this experience to like something similar, like if you remember when the Glee concert movie was in theaters and you went to the movie theater and like bought a ticket to watch the Glee concert movie like any other movie, and it cost like, I don't know, $10 or whatever to watch the Glee cast perform in concert, I would compare this experience to that. Not an act like which is completely different from like actually seeing the Glee cast live in concert when they were actually performing. So there is something to be said about that experience, and there's nothing wrong with making that a thing for your fans to consume. But I think that, curating such a thing and then marketing it as something like on par with, a performance in an arena where the artist and their fans, they're all in the same room together and they're all like sharing the same moment together. If you're trying to advertise what I saw Dua Lipa do as that, I think that's faulty, and I think that isn't accurate to what the people consuming the performance are expecting to get out of it. So like, was it a good performance? Yes, I think it was a good performance. I think Dua Lipa's a great singer. I think she clearly is also a great dancer. And I thought it was really cool that she brought like Kylie Minogue and FKA Twigs and Elton John and Miley and Bad Bunny, etc. I think that was a really cool idea too. I think virtual concerts also have opened up this possibility of multi-artist collabs like that. Just because it's virtual and you can get anyone all over the world to just come in and hop in. I think that was a good idea. Would I call the experience a concert? I do think that question has a certain level of like interpretation and ambiguity to it, but I also think that if concert promoters are looking to find directions to take the live music industry and like, in this era of COVID and like pandemic, I don't know if this was the way to go, and I don't know if this should be used as a good example. And I was just reading up like on a bunch of articles that are like, oh, Studio 2054 is the future of live music, and I'm like, but it's not even live. What are you talking? Like, I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know. Live music is not live music if it's not actually live. And, you know, again, even if Studio 2054 was actually live, it failed to give the illusion that it was. And I think that people should use that and take that as a learning opportunity, that you need to make it clear that you're interacting with your audience, that you're giving them this sense of immediacy, that you're there in the moment with them. Otherwise, like, it's it's not gonna it's not gonna get through. They're not gonna have like even an ounce of a similar experience as an in-person concert. So yeah, if you've gotten this far, I've been filming for like 11 minutes. Thank you for listening to my crazy rambling thoughts.